Rosie, usually when we put ham hock and pea together, it's for a soup, but I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm making ham hock, pea and green vegetable pasta. It is really delicious. But the first thing we need to do is take this ham hock and I'm going to put it into a pot and simmer it away, and that'll make it nice and tender.
So you're going to have to forgive me, I don't know too much about the ham hock. So whereabouts is that off the body?
The ham hock comes from the front here. Yeah. This is a piece of meat that does a lot of work, so it is quite tough like this. However, when you pop it into a pot of water like this and you add some ingredients like some celery that I'm going to throw in there as well, and some carrots, and you simmer it away for about 2 hours, nice and gently, you get a really tender, flavoursome ham hock.
This is nice and simple.
Exactly. Throw it all in there. I've got some ginger goes in there as well. I'll just cut it in half, and I'll leave my vegetables really chunky because they're going to cook for quite some time. I don't want them to fall apart and be mushy. So garlic goes in there, onion goes in there, bay leaves go in here. I've got some cinnamon and some peppercorns go in there as well.
Whole. Just put it in. That's so easy.
Load it up, and a good dollop of white wine goes in there. Now, this will take about 2 hours to cook, Rosie. I might skim it a little bit to take some of the foam off the top of it, but all the work will be done in the pot. The magic happens right here. And in the meantime, I'll just keep you busy because you need to keep busy. You can peel these broad beans.
Okay.
Rosie, it's taken a little while, but believe me, the time is worth it. I'll just pull this ham hock out so I can show you. Normally, I would let it cool down in the liquid, but, you know, I want to get this happening. So you can see it's just falling apart, and it's really, really nice and tender. So I'll take a few minutes, pull that apart, get it on a plate, save some of the broth because we'll use that in the dish. This will be nice and tender, and it will make a delicious pasta dish. See, it just falls apart, Rosie. Look at that.
Do you want to get me working?
I'm going to get you. Of course, I'm going to get you working. Now, I've got some snow peas here and some beans. Slice them in half so they're nice and pretty. While you're doing that, I'm going to get the pasta into the water. Now, there's this beautiful shell pasta, and you can use just about any type of pasta for this dish, but I like the shell pasta because it's nice and small and it picks up all the flavour and all the ingredients. Now, whenever you're cooking pasta, always check the packet. That gives you a cooking time, which is a great way to plan how you put the whole meal together. In the water goes some salt, and in goes the pasta. I'll pour the whole packet in, 500 grams. That's enough to feed 4 to 5 to 6 hungry people. Whenever you put the pasta in, Rosie, stir the pasta for the first 30 seconds or so to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, and then it comes back to the boil and then off it goes. But, you know, I reckon that's right. Now, I've got some red onion here, and I take the little core out of it like that and slice it nice and thin all the way around.
I'm loving this green. It's green, green, green. Fantastic.
I thought you'd like this.
Yes.
This is a great sort of summer dish, and we're using the ham hock as well. So you can imagine in Australia, we've got all this ham left over from our Christmas, and it is quite warm. So this is a great little dish that you can put together in summertime to use up the leftover ham.
It's summery. I'm still adjusting to having Christmas, even 12 years. When it's sunny, it's just very odd. So, yeah, a nice kind of ham kind of salad's a lovely thing.
Now, oil in there, garlic, some butter goes in there as well to make it even more luscious. Now, the broccolini... Yeah, pull the elastic band off that.
You got it.
That's usually how you get it. Now, you cut the elastic band off. I always take the elastic band off and I save them for later. I'm usually trying to get teenage boys out of bed, so I flick elastic bands at them and that usually wakes them up. Now, with the broccolini, a little groovy way to cut it is just on an angle like this, nice and fine.
Nice.
Yeah, rip into that.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'll stir this around here. We just want to sweat it down a little bit till it just starts to soften up a bit. You could let it go for a little bit longer, but I like to get going on this one because, you know, as this cooks, it'll all start to sweat off together. In goes some salt because we want it to taste good, and some pepper. Now, when you're adding salt, you need to keep in mind that we're using ham hock in this dish, and I'll use some of the liquid from the ham hock, which can be a little bit salty. So just keep an eye on the amount of salt you put in here. You've never heard those words from me before, but keep an eye on the amount of salt you put in here. Always season it right at the end if it needs more salt. Now, this is booting along very, very nicely, so I'll give it another little stir. Now, at this stage here, you can see the pan is nice and hot, and the onions and garlic are sweating down nicely. So these vegetables here need to cook for a little bit. So one of the things I like to do, I've got the broad beans here. I'll throw these into the pan. The broad beans in there, and I'll throw these green veggies in as well. This is a little trick, and you pass those peas over as well,
yes,
Rosie.
Yes, of course.
I pop them into the pan here like this, and I add a little bit of the boiling water. There we go. A couple of ladles of boiling water go into here and just stir it around a little bit. And what you find is that boiling water gives the vegetables a little bit of steam to cook them. Have a taste of that
I
one,
would
Rosie.
just eat that whole thing. Oh.
I could pour that on a plate and let you go for it. In fact, I could probably do that in a couple of minutes, but I won't because I'm going to grab some of this ham, pop the ham in here, and this is where we get the flavour of the ham going through it. And I've also got a little bit of stock here. This is the ham stock, a good little splush of that in there. Now bring the herbs over here, Rosie. I've got some garlic chives, which you can get in most supermarkets now. They're like a flat chive and they have a really, really great garlicky sort of flavour. Not too strong. They often call it society garlic because you can eat this and you don't have that garlic breath.
Oh, I love that. Me and my high society, I'll be fine, won't I?
You'll be very, very fine. Now, the mint, I'm just going to pick the leaves of the mint and throw them on top. Now, I've got the mint all picked like this. And you know what? We need a little bit of butter in there. Just one little dollop of butter goes in there. And this is just about ready to put together. Now, I'll give that a bit of a toss. The trick with this one is to get it all together just right. The pasta cooked perfectly and the vegetables nice and green and still crisp. Now, look at this pasta. That comes out like that. Just give it a bit of a shake. You can see a little bit of liquid in there. That's OK. That's going to become part of the sauce. A few more spoons of this on here. And we'll have our pasta in there. Rosie, throw the herbs on here.
You've got it.
Get them going. We have plenty of herbs in here. Plenty of salt and pepper, which I'm about to put on to make it nice and delicious. In that goes. Looks great, doesn't it?
Really good. Really phenomenal.
And some salt to make it tasty. And I'm going to stand back here, Rosie, because I'm going to toss this around. Hopefully I'll get it all in together. That looks fantastic. A great little dish. Grab that bowl there, Rosie. We're going to put this whole lot into the bowl over here with a pair of tongs, and all of that will come out beautifully. Look at that. We've got ham in here. We've got green vegetables in here. We've got lots of herbs. Parmesan cheese. Rosie, you ready with the Parmesan cheese?
It looks really healthy, actually, doesn't it? It looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
Sprinkle the cheese on here,
got
Rosie.
it.
And I'm going to have a little taste of that one.
There we go.
Load it on there, plenty of cheese on there, and I'll just have a little taste. I've got some ham and some pasta. I'll just pick that up there like that.
Wow. Well, I'm impressed with how many veggies you smuggled in there, for one.
That's the idea. Lots and lots of veggies, a little bit of meat and some pasta. That is a perfect balanced diet, don't you
Well
think?
done. I like it. Impressed.
What a great dish.